My name is Axel Mercier. I'm a tattoo artist. I've been a tattoo artist for like 25 years now. Where am I from is kind of a hard question. I live here in North Carolina now, it's probably like home. I had been collecting parts for a while to build myself another bike, but I've been so busy with, tattooing and working on other people's bikes, I didn't really think I was gonna get to it for a while. But I had this 1952 Harley Davidson Pan Am motor. I had a beat up 4-speed, which is not this one. This one's a really nice one that I got actually during the build. And I had got this kind of custom frame that was originally built by Freddie Hernandez. It wasn't quite done. That was pretty much the idea that I'm like, oh, threw my hat in with the People's Champ, and then all of a sudden I had to build the thing. So I modified the frame a lot and finished it, kind of the stance where you see it now. Put that in it. Got that from an old timer restorer guy named Opie from up in Durham, the 4-speed. And then started putting it together. Built most of the rest of the parts. Favorite details, like I had a really good idea in my head, a vague idea of what the bike was going to look like as far as stance and, length and kind of like the rake and such that I wanted. I did a little bit more research in rake and trail in this than I do with most of them. I just kind of slapped them together, but this I really wanted to like ride really good. Some ideas is like when I decided to make this sissy bar in like several pieces, and I decided to twist one side and then keep the other side untwisted. I kind of repeated that kind of theme throughout it with some parts being twisted and some not, That's kind of like one of my favorites, but also I like the mixes of the metals, the brass and stainless and aluminum parts of the engine and, the copper lines and little bits of, of that all throughout the bike that kind of ties it all together. I have a valid distrust of chromers, and finding a consistent one too. You know what I mean? Like I used to use the same guy forever and went out of business, and then I had another guy went out of business. So like then you don't really know. Like I like to, because if the chrome comes back good or bad, or if they have it forever. And with this bike, I knew I had a limited amount of time, so I make a lot of stuff out of stainless. It's all on me. I can just make it. I can polish it. I can figure it out. So I ended up doing a lot of everything out of stainless that I made, and a little bit, just a small bit out of metal that I had chrome. Oh man, you know what? The time constraints and having that in my head. I want to try different stuff that I've not done before, or try doing something, of course, that I have done before, but in a different way. But you got to think, how far outside of the box am I going to go and still be able to get this done? Constantly thinking about that. Like, do I make this from scratch, or do I kind of cheat a little bit, get something, modify it? A lot of times, like using whatever metals I had on hand at the shop, because I don't even have time to go run to the metal store and dig through that stuff and find it, or time to order stuff. And it kind of worked out because, that's why, I had a lot of, some square rods, some round wad, and kind of made it all work together. That was the biggest thing. Time, I think, was the big struggle, but also the idea that everyone was looking at you and you had to post on Instagram all the time, like more of a low-key type. I don't really, like always like, hey, look at me. I'm just over here doing my thing. You don't gotta look, Always learning, I think that's important in my philosophy of things, is if you ain't still learning stuff, you ain't doing it right, So I'm always trying to, push myself, learn a little bit more. I think I learned a lot about trying to be faster, like especially machining. So, trying to do that faster and get it done was kind of cool, I think I'm a lot better of a machinist now at the end of this. But then also polishing was something I did a little bit of that. And I was like, oh, I'm going to make it all this stainless, I'm going to polish it. And then there's a lot more to polishing than you might think. And I got deep into polishing all the details and learned a lot about how to polish metal. It reminds me a lot of paint. You just got to get the surface super smooth, and then it's reflective. The smoother it is, the more reflective it is. So, man, it rides awesome. was super stoked, you know, with like, it was like, that's kind of like when a plan comes together and you're like, oh yeah, this is what I wanted. You know what I mean? I wanted this thing to, you know, to look cool, but to also be like able to ride that bitch like you stole it, you know? I want to probably especially thank, you know, my homie Wes over here, Custom Destruction, for always being around, help me, especially move shit around, you know, the shop and shit like that. And my homies Jeff Potter, Josh Thaxton, Stephen Webb, my homie that works with me in the tattoo shop, Jesse Collins, always around to throw ideas off of him too. My friend Patrick is a master painter, always with the, he's helped me paint like every one of my bikes. I don't really paint, but I paint my own bikes. And he's a skilled technician at that to assist me with that. Jake from Jake's Chop Shop, who made this awesome seat, who's a mad scientist, man. That dude makes crazy stuff. There's Jerry from Sinister Hot Rods, who's like kind of like my metal sensei. Whenever I'm like, how do I make this metal move this way? You know, he's always ready with a text, you know, to help me out with that stuff. And then JD's my mechanic over here at the shop, that old retired mechanic that works with me sometimes, and he's always like tech support. And my chick for her patience, because, you know, I could have got a divorce over this thing, you know, and for bringing me sandwiches, you know, when I don't want to go home to eat. I might cover it.